EB3 green card visa, because some of them call it that. But what happens with the EB3 green card is your host family sponsors you a green card. But before they even get to the sponsoring part, they have to put out some form of advertisement, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's in the newspaper, somewhere like where you can market stuff, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff. And you say, hey, I'm looking for this. Basically give a criteria of what an au pair would do. You want all these things, and this is how much you're going to pay, like an au pair stipend. And then typically Americans won't respond to it because they don't want to get paid this stipend like an au pair. And so what happens, nobody responds to it. And so the host family takes all that and goes to the labor department, and they're like, look, this is what we want, this is how much we can afford, and nobody in America has applied, or nobody in America has proven that they want this job. This is proof to say that we're not taking jobs from America, because the purpose from labor departments is that they want to make sure that you're not giving jobs to people outside the country when there are people inside the country that need the jobs. And so with them doing that, they're going to the labor department and they're proving that, look, we have opened this up to Americans, and we have said Americans can work, but no American wants to do it. However, we have an au pair currently who's from whatever country she is, and she is willing to do it for the rate she's doing it, because she's been doing it for that rate anyway. So can we keep her? Can we sponsor her a green card? And so then that's when the process starts, because, well, it started, but that's when, like, okay, now the paperwork happens, is because you have to prove to Labor Department that, yo, as I said earlier, we're not stealing jobs from Americans. So with this visa, it can be a skilled worker, a professional, or unskilled worker. And most of the time, au pairs fall under the unskilled worker. And I think you have to have under 2 years or a year and a half experience, which meaning you're an au pair, so you have experience with childcare. And so that was step one, the labor department thing. And then step two, that's when you fill in a form your host family fills in. It's the I-140. You fill in an I-140 form, your host family fills it in, basically stating that, listen, we want to sponsor them, we want them to stay, we want them to work for us. And then step three is you pay the processing fees, you do all the admin. It's basically the bringing all the work together, the forms. They ask the au pair for what, either her highest level education. The host family's like, okay, we can afford to keep her. She's not going to be under the government once again, we financially stable. She won't suck the government dry, those kind of things. And then step four is you basically submit your documents and any supporting documents that they require or they ask you for. So step four is basically you submit, and they'll send it back to you no, we don't want this, we want that. And then you have to submit this, go for the fingerprint, go for this, that, and then it's just a waiting game. Now this takes between 15 to 24 months. And once again, it could take longer because they're still catching up to all the backtracks from the pandemic.